Yes, Pride Month, or as I like to call it, the month of the most follower drops for anyone that mentions that they are in the LGBTQ or support the LGBTQ. Now, here's my spin on this. I'm not here to try to change anybody's mind who's dead set in their ways. There's some people who are closed-minded with this, and there's nothing that I can say or do that will convince them otherwise because they made up their mind. And that's okay. To each their own. If that's where you stand, fantastic. Good for you. What I have to say is for the people who are a little more on the fence and might have the ability to be swayed one way or the other. Now, what I ask of you is to be open-minded. I'm not going to be judgmental. I'm just allowing this perception to be put out into the world. Ponder it. Think about it. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life, but I'd like to tell you what I think. Do with it what you will. Now, one of the comments that I've already received on one of my recent videos, it was just me making a joke about Pride Month. A lot of people liked it. People who didn't even support Pride actually thought it was funny. And somebody commented, I forget that June is Pride Month. I wish that I could change my birthday. Now, what that basically says to me, this is what it translates to in my brain. I think this is kind of unfortunate. What he's saying is, I'm okay. Sorry, let me start over. I enjoy the freedom that I have to express myself in the way that I so please. However, if people do not express themselves in the same fashion that I do, I'm not okay with that, which, with that logic, is hypocritical. Plain and simple. So by that logic, by your logic, or potentially whoever's logic this is, the way that I see it, if people who are part of the LGBTQ community can't express themselves, being whatever they are, then it makes sense that you shouldn't be allowed to be straight either, because they should carry the exact same belief as you. If people don't express themselves the same way that they do, then you're wrong. And believe me, there's enough people who are in the LGBTQ community that could make people who are, I guess, aggressive and angry in the straight community to make you feel like the minority, essentially. Very possible. It's a terrible thing, and we definitely shouldn't have any kind of battles between both worlds, right? Okay, so that's assuming that you view this from a non-religious standpoint. Now, if you view it from a religious standpoint, I'm sure you already know the argument about the Bible actually said that Jesus said not to lay with boy, and it's not even talking about homosexuality and that it's okay, which is true. However, let's assume you're right. Let's assume that being gay or being homosexual or being queer whatsoever is a sin. It does not make you a sinner for somebody else to sin. If you witness a sinner, you are not a sinner yourself for witnessing that sin. And it does say that in the Bible that you should not be the one judging the sins and basically telling who's going to be the one going to hell. You're supposed to leave that to God, and that's the spirit of fairness. So I still believe, even if you are religious, it's not fair to cast someone aside for being a quote-unquote sinner by that same logic, because their sin does not impact your life, and you will not be impacted negatively by God for them sinning. That's what I think. I'm sure this is going to cause some very interesting discussions in the comments. I ask that everybody be kind, be open-minded. There should be no name calling, ad hominem attacks. Just talk about it to your heart's content in a constructive fashion.